Monroe and Clark Gable in the 1961 Hollywood film The Misfits. Hard to believe that she died 50 years ago this month, at the age of 36. Leaving behind a body of work that seems to be timeless, Tracy Smith introduces us to a photographer with memories still as sharp as his pictures.
It's as if we've walked in on something private. The story of these images of Marilyn Monroe and the man who took them may be as revealing as the pictures themselves.
Hold it! Here comes the girl who put into movies. Marilyn Monroe.
In 1960, Monroe was shooting Let's Make Love with Yves Montand.
'Cause my heart belongs to Daddy.
And photographer Lawrence Schiller was on assignment for Look magazine. What was it like the first time you met Marilyn?
Well, I was 23 and I was scared. Am I allowed to say scared? But I was scared.
And who wouldn't be? After all, she was one of the biggest stars on the planet. Schiller was a relative newcomer with more guts than experience.
I start shooting her from the dressing room, and she says, "You're not going to get a good picture from there. But if you go over there, you're going to get something really nice." I go over there, and she turns over her shoulder, and she looks at me, and she's Marilyn Monroe. And I shot just one frame. It's just an extraordinary first real portrait I ever did of her.
The X's on Schiller's proof sheet are from Marilyn's own hand. Of all his shots that day, this is the only one she approved.
That was the moment in which I knew Marilyn knew more about photography at that moment than I did.
But he would learn. By 1962, Elizabeth Taylor was riding a global tidal wave of publicity. And Schiller says Marilyn Monroe worried that her own star was fading.
Marilyn was getting 100,000. Liz was getting, I think, $1 million plus a percentage of the gross. That drove Marilyn crazy because she thought she was as good an actress as Liz Taylor was.
Well, I was going to tell you, but I know how upset you get about little things.
At the time, Monroe was shooting the never-finished film Something's Got to Give with Dean Martin. Schiller, again on assignment, says Marilyn had an idea for the pool scene that would make waves and magazine covers.
She was thinking about jumping in the swimming pool with the bathing suit on, but coming out nothing on. We didn't know if she was really kidding, and I realized that she's kind of serious. And I said, "But Marilyn, you know, you're already famous, and now you're going to make me famous." And I was very cocky in those days.
And what did she say to that?
Well, she just looked at me and said, "Don't be so cocky, Larry. Photographers can easily be replaced."
While shooting this scene, the star wore a skin-tone suit, but between takes, she slipped it off. Standing poolside, Schiller caught it all on film. Risque, yet somehow still innocent, the images, as Schiller put it, show nothing and say everything. She actually set conditions for your using those photos.
She said, "If you release those pictures, I want to make sure in the same issue, I don't see Liz Taylor anywhere."
And there was no mention of Liz Taylor in this issue of Life. You get a sense in the conversations that you recall with Pat, her press agent, and with Marilyn herself, that they implied that you were exploiting her.
Well, there's no question that the pictures were exploiting her. Even one newspaper ran that.
Did you feel like you were exploiting her?
Well, let me say this. Marilyn needed the exploitation for her own purposes, and I was the instrument. She wanted to deliver a message to that studio. Therefore, I don't think I was exploiting her. Because, in essence, you might say you were in partnership with her, an unspoken contract.
In any case, the images are as hot as ever. The June edition of Vanity Fair devoted a section to Schiller's photos, and they appear in 2 editions of his recent book, including a signed, silk-bound coffee table version by Taschen.
And here is the ball.
They were also on display, in the flesh, as it were, at New York's Stephen Kasher Gallery this summer. It was Schiller's first one-man show. Do you get nervous about these sort of things?
I don't know what they're going to write about it. I don't know if anybody's really going to show up. You know, you're doing a television show.
And it is Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, but still, you know, how many times have people seen Marilyn Monroe? Are they going to come out to see her again? Maybe someday they'll come out to see my work without it being Marilyn Monroe.
And there's a lot to see. Schiller covered Ali Patterson, Redford Newman, Betty Davis, Barbara Streisand. He captured the joy of Sophia Loren's Oscar win, the tear in Pat Nixon's eye as her husband conceded to John Kennedy, and the rifle used in the president's murder held aloft in the Dallas police station.
How do you tell a story in one image? How do you tell the whole story? It's like my picture of Lee Harvey Oswald. I didn't want a picture taken far away like everybody else. I wanted to feel the pores on his skin of the man who was being accused of killing Kennedy.
He also got close to the president's brother, Bobby Kennedy, on the '68 campaign trail.
He was like everybody. He'd sleep on the floor, just like we would if it was a long night. I made this picture of him sleeping on the floor with the Cocker Spaniel dog, very pensive, looking out the window as he's coming into L.A., unknown, the tragedy that is going to befell him and his family. And he was very cooperative. He understood the power of the media, as his brother did. That family knew that they could be elected if they did the right thing with the media.
But there were limits to what Schiller's subjects would tolerate, and Schiller says Marilyn Monroe seemed to reach hers when on the last day of her life, he spoke with her about selling even more revealing photos to Playboy.
She turned away in the middle of the conversation and says, "And all I'm good for is my body." She was very, very upset that, again, it was her body. It was not her talent. It was not her ability to tell a story, to play a role. And I had to get the hell out of there.
When she said that to you about, is this all that matters, is my body?
I felt I had gone too far. Right.
Did she seem suicidal to you?
She looked disturbed. She didn't look as if she might take her life. Look, night is a safe haven to many, many celebrities. Darkness is a harbor in which you pull into. Unfortunately, this was one night that she didn't come back from the darkness.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36.
Schiller was at her home as the coroner removed her body, and at her funeral with grief-stricken former husband Joe DiMaggio. This Lawrence Schiller image of Marilyn Monroe, her eyes fixed on a distant horizon, became an epitaph. Who's the equivalent of Marilyn Monroe today?
I don't think there is one. She was Marilyn Monroe, and I don't think we should look for somebody to replace her, and I don't think we should try to compare her to anybody. Let her be who she was. Let us remember her as she was.
Next.
Did you know how